Mr. Countryman, what is the purpose of your Southeast Asian trip now that you're here in Bangkok as the last country for your trip?
Well, thank you. Let me say first, before we begin, that my trip comes at a time when the people of Thailand and across the region are suffering from a great natural disaster. The people of the United States feel very deeply for all of our friends throughout this region who are coping with these tremendous floods. And on behalf of Secretary Clinton, I simply want to say that our hearts are with you, our thoughts are with you. We are doing what we can to assist the peoples of this region to deal with this disaster. I came to Southeast Asia. This is the first trip I am making in my new capacity as the Assistant Secretary for International Security and Non-Proliferation. It underlines the importance of Southeast Asia and the ASEAN states in the cooperation that we have with the United States, not just in trade issues, economic issues, education issues, but also in the global issues that determine our common security, such as non-proliferation. We have a shared interest with ASEAN states individually and with ASEAN as a region to cooperate to prevent the spread of nuclear, chemical, biological weapons, of ballistic missile technology. And these are the discussions I've been having with individual states as well as with the ASEAN Secretariat.
What is your general evaluation of the security issue and non-proliferation in the ASEAN region?
There's an aspect that is global and also the specific aspect of what is unique to Southeast Asia. Globally, all countries share an interest in ensuring that we move forward on the agenda that has united the international community for a long time, and which President Obama stated again in his speech in Prague 2 years ago, that we work towards a world free of nuclear weapons. We work towards a world where people cannot be threatened by states or by terrorists using nuclear or biological or chemical weapons. There are so many pieces to that daily struggle to prevent the proliferation of weapons. It has to be a global effort that unites all of humanity. And as the ASEAN nations become more prosperous, more politically influential, and more determined to bear this global responsibility, we expect of them, and they have responded, that they will participate more in this global effort against proliferation of these weapons. The specific challenges in Asia. First, I would mention the continued effort of North Korea to develop nuclear weapons, to expand its nuclear arsenal. Our position remains that we wish to see North Korea abide by its agreement in 2005 that the Korean Peninsula would be free of nuclear weapons. We are returning next week for another round of discussions with the North Korean delegation with a view towards finding the conditions so we can restart the six-party talks. We're hopeful, but far from certain, that we can make some progress in these discussions. This is the most direct challenge in the Asian region towards to our goal of reducing the nuclear threat. In general, as this region, Southeast Asia, becomes more economically strong, even more critical to world trade, and more technologically sophisticated, those states that are seeking to proliferate weapons and those individuals or criminals who are trading in such weapons will seek to use the resources of Southeast Asia, this technological advanced society, and the very free economy and free trade that the nations of ASEAN enjoy, people will seek to abuse that freedom in order to proliferate weapons. This is the kind of constant cooperation we have with friends throughout the region, the cooperation we have with ASEAN as a group to prevent this from occurring.
Do you see that when ASEAN become a community in 2015, there's going to be a free trade and, we're trying to be sort of like the EU and all that. Do you see that as a threat to the international community or the U.S. as far as, about nuclear power or non-proliferation at all?
No. First, I would say that this is a decision for ASEAN to make. What's the correct pace to proceed towards free trade? Certainly the European Union offers an extremely valuable extremely valuable example of how different societies have attained peace and prosperity by embracing this concept of free trade. And without question, the Southeast Asian nations can do the same. We look forward to working with them individually and as a group as they move towards that goal. Mm-hmm. But in specific answer to your question, the European Union also offers a positive example because it has defined in the process of liberalizing its trade, it's defined the necessary controls, the necessary safeguards to prevent that open market from being abused. The European Union is probably our most important partner in global issues such as non-proliferation. And I think that if the nations of Southeast Asia can follow the same example, they will be an equally important partner.
Tension in the South China Sea has gotten intense, with China has increased its maritime arms and the Vietnam has done more of the naval drills, as well as the Philippines have got new warships and vessels. What is the U.S. position in all this, and do you think that there's going to be any armed conflict?
First, this is not exactly my field, and so for the best statement, I'd like to refer you back to the speech that Secretary Clinton made on July 23rd of this year about the issue of the South China Sea. But I can reaffirm for you the most important principles of the United States. The United States does not have a solution that it can impose or that it can insist upon, but we can insist that all countries look at this issue based on the principles that we share. And those principles are, first, peaceful resolution of dispute by involvement of all concerned parties. Secondly, respect for international law, including the customary law of the sea, and defining the respective claims in that way. And third, recognition that freedom of navigation, freedom of commerce is essential to the economic well-being and the security of every nation in this region. If those principles are kept in mind, we believe it is possible for there to be an amicable, peaceful resolution of this issue. I do not see a reason that there needs to be an escalation to violence in this area. It's not in the interests of any of the states in this region.
Some experts see that the U.S.-Thai relations as far as security issue has sort of declined since the 2006 coup. Is there any truth in this statement?
Well, again, I'm not an expert on Thailand. I would not want to comment on events of 5 years ago. Here's what I can say today, that historically, Thailand and the United States have enjoyed an alliance, not just a friendship, a partnership, but an alliance that we take seriously and that has proven beneficial for our security and for the security of Thailand. I won't comment on internal developments in Thailand. We have a new government here, which today is facing a challenge due to this natural disaster of flooding, we've made clear, and my visit was an opportunity to underline again, that we are prepared to work with this government in the same spirit of friendship and alliance as we have worked previously with Thailand.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is that okay?